Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me closely. Every single one of us is carrying more energy, more power, more potential than we could ever imagine. Yet most people walk around as if they're exhausted, as if life is draining them instead of fueling them. Why? Because they've built patterns of thought, patterns of behavior, patterns of belief that chain them to the past and keep them from stepping into the life they truly deserve. Energy is not something outside of you, it's already in you. It's not about getting energy, it's about unlocking it. Think about it. Every moment you breathe, move, focus, and decide, you are shaping your emotional state. You can sit slumped in a chair telling yourself, I'm tired, I can't do this, and your body will respond with fatigue. Or you can shift your physiology, stand tall, breathe deep, move with intensity, and suddenly the energy that felt buried comes rushing back to life. Energy is not something you chase outside of yourself, it's already inside you. Most people go through their days believing they are tired, drained, or lacking motivation. But the truth is energy is a state that you create in the moment. Think about the times in your life when you were exhausted, yet suddenly something exciting happened, a call from a loved one, a big opportunity, a song that lit you up, and instantly the fatigue disappeared. Did your body magically get new fuel in that second? No. What happened was you unlocked the energy that was already within you. You shifted your focus, your emotions, your physiology, and it transformed how you felt. If you slump your shoulders, breathe shallow, and repeat to yourself, I'm tired, I can't do this. And then of course you will respond by shutting down. You are telling it too. But if you stand tall, expand your chest, take deep, powerful breaths, move with intensity, your brain and body will immediately start firing differently. Energy comes from motion. Emotion comes from motion. When you shift your body, the problem is most people wait for energy to show up before they act, when in reality, energy only shows up after you decide to act. You must condition yourself daily to unlock this force. Ask yourself, where is my focus right now? Am I thinking about what I can't control or what I can create? Am I stuck in the past? Or am I fully alive in the present? Focus power. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you focus on fatigue, you'll feel tired. If you focus on possibility, gratitude, and what excites you, energy starts to flow. The beautiful truth is that energy is a choice. You can wake up every morning and decide whether you will create a state that empowers you or one that drains you. You don't need a perfect diet, a miracle supplement, or some external motivation. Those can help, but the real switch is internal. It's in the way you move, the way you breathe in, the way you decide to show up. The moment you claim the name, the power, you'll discover that energy is not scarce. It's infinite. It has always been there, waiting for you to unlock it. Old patterns are the invisible chains that keep people stuck in the same place year after year. They are the habits of thought, the limiting beliefs, even the repetitive actions that run our lives without even realizing it. See, most of us have stories we tell ourselves. Not enough? I'll never succeed. This is just who I am. These stories might feel familiar. They're nothing more than patterns your brain has practiced for so long that they seem like truth. The problem is, as long as you keep feeding those stories, you'll keep living the same results. The moment real change begins is the moment you decide to break that cycle. Every time you interrupt a pattern, you create space for transformation. Maybe you've always reacted to stress by procrastinating or numbing yourself with distractions. The first time you catch yourself and instead choose to act with courage, making the call, facing the challenge, moving forward, you weaken the old story and strengthen a new one. That's how you wire your brain, by replacing destructive patterns with empowering ones again and again. But here's the truth. Your patterns don't just shape your behavior, they shape your identity. If you keep repeating disempowering patterns, you start to believe, this is who I am. Yet the moment you change a pattern, you prove to yourself that you're capable more. One different choice can be the spark that redefines what you believe about yourself. Imagine if every time fear whispered, you can't, you responded with action anyway. Your brain learns that the old pattern no longer runs a show. You do. Breaking patterns is uncomfortable, but so is staying stuck. The difference is that one discomfort leads to growth, freedom, and power, while the other leads to regret and frustration. Which discomfort are you willing to choose? When you commit to breaking old patterns, you reclaim control of your destiny. You're no longer a victim of the past. You become the author of your future. So don't wait for tomorrow to shift. The moment you notice an old story creeping in, break it immediately. Replace it with action that aligns with the one to create. Over time, you'll look back and realize those chains you thought were unbreakable were only illusions. You had the power to break them all along. Your life will never truly change until you raise your standards. Every result you have today is a reflection of what you've been willing to settle for. If you accept exhaustion, you live with low energy. If you accept fear, you live with hesitation. If you accept less than you're capable of, live a life far below your potential. The moment you draw a line in the sand and say, this is no longer acceptable, I demand more from myself, everything shifts. Change does not come hoping, wishing, or even wanting. It comes from raising your standards and following through with massive action. Think about it. Every breakthrough in your life has happened because at some point you decided you would no longer tolerate the old way of living. Maybe it was in your health, your relationships, or your career. You hit a point where you said, enough is enough. That decision was the birth of a new standard. The truth is, your brain will always work to keep you consistent with who you believe you are. If you raise your identity, if you decide, I am someone who shows up with energy, passion, and courage every day, then your actions will rise to meet that new belief. Raising your standards doesn't mean perfection. It means refusing to accept mediocrity. It means coming to a higher level of discipline, a higher level of energy, and a higher level of contribution. When you demand more from yourself, life rewards you with growth. The more you grow, the more you can give. Suddenly, once felt impossible becomes the new normal because you stretched yourself beyond the old limits. But here's the key. Raising your standards must be backed by a decision, not a desire. People say, I'd like to lose weight, I'd like to be successful, I'd like to feel more energy. But likes don't create change. Standards do. When something shifts from a should to must, that's when your brain locks in. No longer try it, you commit. You no longer try it, you no longer hope. Your action, repeated consistently, is what transforms your destiny. The moment you raise your standards, you ignite a fire inside yourself. You begin living with intensity, with passion, with certainty. That's when life opens up in ways you never imagined. Don't wait for the word to raise the bar for you. Decide today what you will no longer tolerate. Demand more from yourself and watch as life rises to meet your new standards. The greatest lie we tell ourselves is that we will change someday. We say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll begin next week, I'll take action when it is right. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. The only time you have a job is now. Every regret is now. Every transformation begins with a decision made in the present moment. Waiting is the enemy of progress because someday is not on the calendar. Someday is an illusion. Trap that robs you of the life you were meant to live. When you decide to act now, something powerful happens. Your brain comes alive. You feel a surge of clarity and momentum because action creates energy. Procrastination, on the other hand, drains you before you even begin. Think about how many times you carried around the weight of something you knew you needed to do, only to feel exhausted by the thought of it. The moment you finally acted, that weight lifted and suddenly you felt alive again. Action is the antidote to fear, hesitation, and doubt. People often wait for confidence before they act, but confidence doesn't come first, action does. Once you step forward, even imperfectly, your brain gathers evidence that you are capable, that you are strong, that you can handle more than you thought. Each small act builds momentum, and momentum builds belief. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary results. They stop waiting and they start doing right now. You don't need to have all the answers to move forward. You don't need the perfect plan or the guarantee of success. What you need is urgency, the willingness to seize this moment and use it fully because life is happening now. Energy is available now. Transformation is possible now. The decision you've been putting off, the change you've been avoiding, that is the very thing that could open the door to your next level. So stop telling yourself someday will come. Stop convincing yourself that you'll act when you feel ready. Readiness is a choice, and the choice is made in the present moment, right here, right now. You have the power to unlock your energy, break your old patterns, and step into the life you were to light. Don't wait another day. The time for action, the time for courage, time for transformation is not tomorrow, it's now.